Well, it had a couple good matches, but oh boy, are there some things I'm going to enjoy ripping apart here. I'm John Rentham with my review of WWE Survivor Series 2020. Yeah, the Kickoff show really didn't have all that much, except you had Truth bring out the Gobbledygooker, and it was somebody else in the Gobbledygooker outfit, because 30 years after this legend debuted, they had the Gobbledygooker roll up R-Truth and win the 24/7 championship. So instantly, you don't want to end this fucking shit with the goddamn fucking 24/7 championship. And some people were saying, well, you don't get it, it's entertainment. Well, if you're entertained by this, fine. If you're fucking entertained by that, cool. I'm not. There's such a thing as doing good comedy in wrestling. This ain't it. AEW ain't doing great comedy in wrestling often either, though the audiences are divided on that. If I'm going to knock AEW for doing their stupid shit, then I'm going to have to knock WWE for, yes, doing a callback to 30 years ago when, yes, the same Survivor Series where The Undertaker made his debut, the Gobbledygooker debuted. Poor Hector Guerrero. Anyway, yeah, he won the 24/7 championship and lost his foot, because, he pulled a Kerry Von Erich, basically. Actually, he just lost his little chicken foot, turkey foot, whatever the fuck it was. Yeah, and he actually held the championship for a little bit. So, we have the dual brand battle royal. Here are all the participants. Ricochet, Nakamura, Kalisto, Ray, Dominic, Murphy, who all came out together, by the way. So, Murphy's just a de facto Mysterio, if you will. We get Cedric, Shelton of the Hurt Business, Apollo, because this feud will not fucking end until the world is radioactive. Get the Imagine Dragons song out of your head. Except it's already in my head, because it always is. What am I even on about anymore? Garza, who's, I think it's the first match he's had since he's been doing those weird vignettes where he's been handing the rose to people. I still got fucking paper on my goddamn lap. Elias is there, Jeff Hardy, because that feud won't fucking end. Chad Gable, hey, at least Chad Gable got to show off here. Miz and Morrison, Rude, and Ziggler in a blue hat. He wanted to wear a red hat. Did anyone care about this? Seriously, did anyone care about this? I'm not knocking these guys. They tried a whole bunch of bad storylines. Humans had to be together in one battle royal, but really, this is just a battle royal that was there. They didn't announce the participants until we saw them. And I get it. You want to maybe be surprised, but I don't know. I don't know why they did an apron bump during a battle royal. I just don't fucking get it. I think that's fucking stupid. If only they'd used Gable like this for the last 3 fucking years instead of just recently. They hadn't done the shorty, bullshit gimmick. And I get it. I love Gable. I'm not saying Gable's going to be WWE champion. I don't know if he's got the charisma. I don't know if he's got the it factor to be WWE champion. But he could have been used a whole lot better than he was until now. I hope that they actually stick with this. I fear that after the Rumble, they're just going to give up on it. And then Dominic thought he won because he didn't realize that Miz rolled back in after he thought he had eliminated him, and Miz eliminated Dominic. Dominic had a good showing. I'm willing to eat crow as far as his, his wrestling ability goes. As far as his promos, I'm not going to apologize for that, but then again, everybody learns. Maybe he'll be just really good in the ring, and they'll need to give him a mouthpiece. I mean, hell, Ray could be his mouthpiece. Then we get Owens and Corbin arguing, and then Billy shows up with a resume. I'm not really sure what they're fucking doing here. Also, shout out to Valena. I'm Valena on Twitter. Point out the one she used on SmackDown said she was signed in 2017. I seem to recall that Billy Kay has been around a bit longer than that. Like, maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. I could have swore that maybe, Billy Kay debuted a bit before 2017. Anyway, opening video package. The best of the best. The one night of the year where Raw and SmackDown go head to head. These match reviews are not going to take very long because there wasn't a whole lot to them, but we have AJ Styles and Riddle representing Team Raw, Roddle, if you will, with Keith Lee, Braun, and Sheamus representing the red brand. So, of course, Braun and Styles had to be just thrilled to be wearing red stuff, Braun getting that proud boy pyro, by the way, versus Jey Uso, Owens, Otis, and Rollins and Corbin. At one point, Michael Cole, who's a goddamn insufferable piece of motherfucking worthless shit on commentary. Michael Cole is one of the worst commentators that WWE has ever employed for a lengthy amount of time. The last time he was any good was 2006. I think he, shout out to Cyberophilius for this, but he called Otis a 38 fat pounder. Is he channeling Scott Steiner? What the fuck is he doing? So, Rollins, by the way, did not want to face Matt Riddle. When you see Matt Riddle I don't remember who the fuck it was in the corner. I can't remember if it was Sheamus or somebody else. Rollins looked like he was disgusted, like he wanted to literally be anywhere else other than around Riddle. Also, him and Becky are expecting their child soon, so maybe his mind was elsewhere. And then he said, well, rather than do this, I'm just going to say, hey, Sheamus, just bro kicked me in the goddamn face. It's for the greater good, and he gets bro kicked in the face, and then he leaves. He gets eliminated, and then he leaves. And best wishes to Rollins, the best wishes to Rollins and Becky as they expect their child. I hope the kid grows up happy and healthy, and I think they're going to both be awesome parents. So, Rollins is eliminated, and then Phenomenal Forearm pins Owens. And then Riddle pins Corbin. So it's suddenly 5-2 Raw. And then a power slam pins Otis. I do want to say, though, Otis and Keith Lee did have a nice tussle. I just don't buy Otis as anything legit because they're making him the stupid comedy gimmick. I'm not saying you can't let him have fun. Make him just be a little more serious, for God's sakes. Get rid of the Caterpillar. The Caterpillar's fucking stupid. Not the very hungry Caterpillar. That poor goddamn Caterpillar never got fucking fed. So yeah, Otis gets pinned. Jay is down 5-1, and I tweeted out, I said, wouldn't it be funny if Jay came back from 5-1 odds? Then soon after, Spirit Bomb pins Jay. So he's done. Clean sweep for Raw. And then we get New Day in Gears of War 5 gear, as it were. Big E was there. Big E's not on the show. I don't know if he's injured or they just don't want him to take losses. He should have been on Team SmackDown, but maybe there's a reason for that. If he's injured, I hope he recovers. I don't really get it. But yeah, New Day reunites just weeks after they had their final farewell. And it's not the only final farewell we're fucking getting here. The Street Profits, by the way, are really good in the ring, but they are infuriating on promos. Just fucking infuriating. They had red cups and blue cups. Bluish waffle cups. Have fun unseeing that. So, Street Profits versus New Day. Honestly, good. This was good. Good action. Really good stuff. I really appreciated what they did here. It was an established team, New Day, Kofi and Xavier, and the Street Profits, who had been together for a few years. But it was, the old lines versus the young lines, and I'm not saying about age, but as far as established, the Street Profits won. It was well done. It wasn't quite as good as the match that New Day had against Cedric and Shelton on Raw. But this was really good. And as far as like monumental clash, no, it may not be one of my favorite matches of the year. But as far as like the best match of the night, I would have to say this would almost be up there. Great pace, great everything. I felt bad for Montez. His head bounced off the goddamn floor at one point on a bump. I hope he's okay because that looked really scary. But the Street Profits won. That was good. That was good. So bravo to them. It's as good as a modern era tag match can be in an American wrestling promotion. And then Lashley versus Zayn, the Hurt Business at ringside. And it's the U.S. champion versus the Intercontinental champion. Remember Lashley's sisters? And Sammy got vertigo here. The same thing he had during that feud. That horrible goddamn feud where Sammy looked like he wanted to be literally anywhere else. To be fair, I think he had shoulder injuries. And he needed to take care of those. But goddamn. Zayn was trying to get the Hurt Business to attack him. He even tried to say, MVP pushed me, even though he didn't. And then MVP behind the ref's back threw Zayn back in, and then he got locked in the Hurt Lock. There we go. That's the end of that. Thanks for coming, Sammy. Oh, well. Then Usos, we have more shit with Reigns. It's like, make your team fear you. Make your team respect you. Because otherwise they're disrespecting our family, and I can't have you be at the table if you can't win. Okay, is what it is. And then we get Asuka versus Sasha. Man, I gotta tell you, it's Raw Women's Champion, SmackDown Women's Champion. I was all ready to be mad given who the winner was. The thing is, by the time it was done, and what they did, and the action they had, I couldn't be upset about this. This was well wrestled. This was good stuff. They did some really, really good action here. They did. And there was no BS with, the Bayley-Sasha shit, which I understood a couple times why they did it, but it got very annoying. This is clean. This is great stuff. Great strikes, great submissions, lots of fisting and scissoring, and some really, really good stuff. And after a series of roll-ups, the most devastating maneuver in all of professional wrestling, surprise roll-up, 1, 2, 3, Sasha got the victory. Good stuff. And Carmella didn't interfere, which is good, because we didn't need to see her try to, do whatever the fuck it is that she does in the ring. Not very well, because she probably shouldn't be wrestling anymore. Probably shouldn't have been wrestling in the first place. But these two women tore it up. They did great work. This was also actually, I would argue this is right on the level of what New Day and the Street Profits did. And then everything comes crashing right back down the motherfucking earth. You know what? Maybe I'm just old and I just don't find this shit entertaining. But they had the gobbledygooker, and he sees birdseed because apparently Vince McMahon just found out that a Looney Tunes cartoon with Wile E. Coyote, super genius, and the Roadrunner did this shit in like the 50s. The 50s, the very early 60s. My timeline's a little bit messed up on all those cartoons. But yeah. Does birdseed, and he's trying to eat the birdseed, and then Tozawa rolls him up and gets the win. While there's a ninja referee. Hey, he was wearing a mask. At least that was good. Drake Wirtz doesn't wear a mask because he's a fucking idiot and a goddamn moron, and he can go off and be in his own parlor and never fucking come back, as far as I'm fucking concerned. But anyway, after Tozawa wins, Truth hits him with a bag of birdseed and wins the title back because this championship will not die. It just will not fucking... This is stupid. I got nothing against Truth. I got nothing against Tozawa. I don't know who the Gooker was. Maybe it was Drew Gulak. I'm not sure. Whoever the fuck it was, this is stupid. This is unnecessary. You didn't need to do this. You didn't need to. So now we get Lana, Nia Anti-Vax, Shayna, Peyton, and Lacey. You know, the two members who were added like last minute because Mandy has a legitimate shoulder injury. Hopefully she recovers, and Dana Brooke was taken out because I guess they didn't want Dana Brooke to be out there on her own. Is Lacey her handler? Is Mandy her handler? What's going on here? So they represent Raw. Natty, Bayley, Bianca, Ruby, and Liv represent SmackDown. Well, Lacey and Natty start feuding, fighting and everything, because that feud that we never need to revisit, and I like Lacey, and I like Natty, but they seemed to feud forever, and then they were an unlikely team, and then whatever, it just made no goddamn sense. Okay, so Lana gets in. Now, this was a smoke and mirrors thing. I will say right now, I did not see Lana's 24, or Chronicle 24, whatever the fuck it was. I saw clips of it. I'm going to say right now that if I have ever attacked the person Lana, I do apologize for that. As far as attacking the character, I make no apologies. Because she's not any good. She's not really an interesting character anymore. She's very blasé. She's just there. That being said, if she's really been told to off herself and all this kind of stuff and harm herself and that kind of stuff over being a wrestling character, there are way worse things that people can do where you need to tell them, what to do with themselves. You probably should back off on that. She's playing a wrestling character. Just saying. Also, her parents had the friggin' virus, so maybe you can take it a little easy on the person. You knock the performer all you fucking want. But anyway, Lana gets in and does actually pretty well. Now, she's working with Natty, and Natty is able to get a lot out of a little. And Lana did her stuff well. I will give her that. Now, they didn't have her in the ring after that because they were like, okay, she did her sequence, get her out. And I get that. People's like, well, it was an Eva Marie-like thing where they got her in to do her stuff. Eva Marie could never do anything like this because Eva Marie was never any goddamn good at what she did. And hopefully never fucking comes back. Now, I know she defended wrestling before, but whatever. So, Nia yells a lot, probably because everybody else got vaccines and she didn't. She's like, don't you trust your body? Don't you trust God? Nia, God made your ACLs shatter then, so he's not a very good God, is he? So, Lana is told to stay on the steps. Don't get in here. The four of us will take everything on. Okay, so everybody's outside except for Peyton and Bayley. Peyton, by the way, did pretty damn well in this match, but they did this spot, and I hate this spot. In the men's matches and the women's matches, I hate him in all matches. I hate him if there were freaking, the giant stuffed animals out there. They do the superplex spot outside, and everybody just waits there about 18 years, and then everybody, just falls down magically. I didn't like that. And I don't like it in any match. I give credit to the women for trying really hard. Yes, even Lana. Even Lana tried pretty damn hard here. Nia tried hard to basically suck because that's pretty much all she does. And then it was Deja Vu or whatever the name of her, maneuver is. The delayed snap over suplex or whatever it is that she does. Kind of like the final cut that Dustin Rhodes used to do. And Peyton Royce pins Peyton Rose. There we go. It's the Peyton and Mandy crossover that we didn't know we needed. Bayley gets pinned. And then Peyton is tangling with Natty. She taps out to the sharpshooters soon after. Peyton does. And then woman's right. So suddenly Natty is down. And Lacey, pins her former rival, turned tag partner, turned whatever. And I like Natty, but it's just the booking of her has been so weird. And a cool Spanish fly off the top by Lacey to Bianca. That was good. That was good. That was a really nice move. And then Ruby and Liv just love tag teaming other women, and I love watching that. Moving on. We get a clutch on, and then Ruby gets pinned because she gets knocked out. There's this weird spot where the referee's distracted, but Ruby just ends up getting pinned soon after. It looked like she was knocked out, so hopefully she's okay. And then Liv was making Lacey take it face first. Just bam, bam, bam. For all that, she was actually smashing her face into the ring. It was pretty brutal. And got a crucifix bomb on 1, 2, 3. That was some pretty good stuff. And then a Samoan drop pins Liv. And Bianca is all that's left. With Shayna, Nia, and Lana. Okay, so we got 3-on-1. Cool, we're going to get a Shawn Michaels 2003 thing here. And then Bianca rushes at Nia, actually manages to somehow carry Nia something passable. She gets caught in the clutch, Bianca does. We get to the ropes, and suddenly the ropes break it, suddenly the ropes, that you won't break. Shayna, you won't break. You got to break on the rope break. Oh, you're DQ'd suddenly. That doesn't happen very often. It's kind of a lazy move, but it happened. And then Nia and Bianca are, battling. Nia gets dumped over the guardrail, or the barricade, but Bianca can't get right back in, and Lana's the only one left, and Lana's the sole survivor. Here's how I would have done it. You think I'm going to probably rip up my nose because Lana's the sole survivor. I may not be a fan of the character, but it is what it is. Okay, say they're going to go with this. Have Lana get have Nia gets counted out, Bianca celebrating, thinking she won, and then Lana suddenly, shockingly rolls her up and gets a pin. It doesn't hurt Bianca because she's going to get more chances, and at least you sort of justify Lana proving herself. Then you just do the same shit, so yeah, because of that is going to get ripped up. And I'm not even a big fan of Lana, but good God, you could have done this differently. Also, that's for the Gooker shit earlier. So, Roman with Heyman versus Drew McIntyre. Okay, so Roman eliminated Drew from the Survivor Series men's match last year. And then also they faced off at Mania 35. I will say that this match was much better than their Mania 35 match. But here's the problem. It got good for about the last 60% of it. It just didn't need the stalling forever and ever. It didn't need that. And that's probably going to be a controversial decision. I get what they were trying to do. They're trying to build up. Roman thinks that, this is the same Drew McIntyre is going to beat him down. Cole was absolutely atrocious here, by the way. One of the worst commentators ever. And if he got just freaking thrown out and, had to go home, and never come back to WWE, I think we would be better off. They got enough commentators as it is. They don't fucking need Michael Cole anymore. They don't need him producing them. They don't need Vince yelling in their ears. They need Cole gone, and they need to do whatever. So, the match for a while was as interesting as watching paint dry. And then it flipped, and it got good. I'm not going to call this one of the best matches of the year. I'm not. Do I give them credit for doing, spamming the moves, doing the monumental clashes, doing some callbacks to previous feuds and stuff? Yes, I will give them credit for that because these are two very good performers. As much as I've knocked Reigns, it was more about his character development. I will not say I'm the biggest fan of Reigns, but he has stepped his game up, and I can't ignore that. So then, they did some good stuff, and we got a Kimura lock at one point because Drew's faced Brock, and they mentioned Brock during the match, and that really kind of made me worry that they're going to bring Brock back when they don't fucking need to. We get an announcer's table spot, we get a spear through the barricade, and then back in the ring for 2. Spear again, a Claymore, a ref bump, one of the laziest ref bumps I've seen. Jay gets in here, and he hits a super kick, and eventually another ref gets in there, but, Roman's got the choke, and the referee calls it because Drew's passed out. So Roman looked like he was mad at Jay, but it's like, okay, you know what? You proved your worth. You proved your worth. You redeemed yourself, lad. And got the he got the victory, and there we go. Okay. Drew looked dejected. I thought we were going to get a cash-in. Okay, so here we go with Undertaker's farewell. The farewell that should have happened 8 to 10 fucking years ago. Let me say right now that I stand by every single thing I said about Undertaker during my reviews of the Last Ride documentary series, that he was a narrow-minded prick for what he fucking wore, all the conservative gear. You can have whatever fucking beliefs you want. I will not discount what Undertaker has done in the ring. But I will, however, say it is his fault that he's so injured. It's his fault he kept coming back. Money, greed, and pride. He didn't want to admit that Father Time caught up to him about 10 fucking years ago. And that's the thing about a lot of wrestlers. He's not the only one. He's one of many that did not want to admit that Father Time caught up. So that's where I'm probably going to get a whole lot of hate. I'm not going to say that Undertaker didn't have a hell of a career. A hell of a 20 to 22 year career. The last 8 were pretty fucking shit. And that's his fault. That's his fucking fault. But maybe he needed to keep doing all this shit and everything so he could donate money to the goddamn Antichrist that's in the White House for the next 2 goddamn months. And yeah, I'm going to say that. And I'm going to say that about Jericho. Because they're both goddamn idiots and goddamn washed up has-beens. And I don't fucking care. You can separate the wrestler from the character to an extent. When you start showing that you support racism, homophobia, and a whole bunch of other shit, I'm going to call you out on. I don't fucking care if anybody wants to get upset. Fuck Undertaker for sticking around for so goddamn long. He took up spots that other people needed. Am I saying that Undertaker was not a benefit to WWE for years and years and years, that he did not fight through injuries? I will never say that, because he certainly did. Then the injuries piled up. It was obvious he should retire. He didn't fucking retire, and that's his fucking fault. That's his fucking fault. It's your fault, Mark. It's your fault you were a mark for yourself. And as a fan, I'm going to say that I don't fucking care. I'm probably never going to leave this goddamn state and go do meet and greets and everything. I don't fucking care. I'm probably never going to go to a WWE event again. Because, quite frankly, the product's been goddamn shit. But yeah, they do this big old farewell thing. Here comes Shane McMahon, Big Show, JBL, Jeff Hardy, Mick Foley, The Godfather, The Godwins. I did not know both the Godwins were still alive. I knew that Phineas was, because it's Dennis Knight, Naked Midian. And I know he's a chef. I didn't know Henry Godwin was still alive. I'm glad he is. And then Savio Vega was there. Savio Vega actually looking about the same as he did 20 years ago. Rikishi, he did it for The Rock. He did it for the people. Nash enters, tears his quad. So we get Booker, and then we get Shawn. Shawn, his eyes were darting everywhere, trying to keep an eye on every single person here. Ric Flair, Triple H, and Kane. It's also the Undertaker Super Spreader event with Super Shredder in the goddamn ring. So we get the video package and, more stuff. Cool. We get all this stuff. Great. Cool. He's had a legendary career that went on too fucking long. Way too fucking long. And then here's Vince, who looks 90. He looks old. He looks mortal. And he says, WWF. He'll pay the fine. He doesn't care. And then we get a weird, glitchy rendition. Yes, Vince looked emotional because it was a character he created. And he realized, shit, not only is Undertaker leaving, but something bad is probably going to happen once January 20th hits. One way or another. And Vince is probably realizing, shit, maybe I should give the company to Triple H, the non-savior at WWE. I don't know if you can tell right now, but I was a little bit harsh on this segment because it should have happened 8 to 10 years ago. It should, at least at the end of an era match. Just have that happen there. Have it happen a bit after. Like maybe the Raw after or the next Raw. Make it a 3-hour event and have that be it. Because Undertaker didn't need to stick around forever. So he had to get a lift to get into the ring because he's an elderly dead man. He has trouble with stairs. And then Undertaker cuts promo, 30 years, all this, digging holes, burying souls. Digging souls, burying them in holes, burying them in somebody else's holes. He's had a lot of wives, almost as many wives as Ric Flair. And maybe that's why he's had to pay so much goddamn alimony, which is why he stuck around for so long. And then he does his pose and everything, that kind of stuff. And the hologram of Paul Bearer appears. Okay, cool. Got nothing against Paul Bearer. He was a big, reason why Undertaker's career was so goddamn good. And he finally leaves. Please let this be the end of the fucking Undertaker. Please. Just fucking please. Should have ended years ago, as I said. He doesn't need to stick around. He didn't need to stick around years ago. Fucking let it be. I'm glad he got this big send-off and he got to be there with his friends. Where did his friends go, by the way? They just vanished. They just fucking vanished. I don't get why they did this. And then, that's basically it. So I'm not going to shred it, but I am, you know what? Actually, I am. Because Undertaker shouldn't have stuck around this long. So now you can take the Trump donation stuff, you can shove it up your goddamn ass, and I hope your kids grow up to be a lot more intelligent than you are, you fucking mark. Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. Farewell, Undertaker. Never fucking come back.